Greetings. I'm the Reverend Jen Fenner of Epworth United Methodist Church. We continue in our spiritual quest, and it makes me happy to have you join us as we make this journey together. Today we're in Mark 15, the first 5 verses. Jesus is literally being held by the chief priests, and they're trying to figure out what to do with Jesus. It says, as soon as it was morning, the chief priests held a consultation with the elders and scribes and the whole council. And they bound Jesus and led him away and handed him over to Pilate. Pilate asked Jesus, "Are you the king of the Jews?" Jesus answered Pilate, "You say so." Then the chief priests accused Jesus of many things. Pilate asked Jesus again, "Have you no answer? See how many charges they bring against you?" But Jesus made no further reply, so that Pilate was amazed. This passage always strikes me because it shows the way that the religious leadership literally collaborates and uses the power of the empire to their advantage against Jesus. They clearly had a consultation, talked perhaps at length, and finally decided that the best thing to do was hand him over to the state power. And when Pilate has Jesus' life in his hands, he asks the religious leaders, "What is it that you are saying about him? Jesus, are you the king of the Jews?" And Jesus simply answers, "If you say that I am." And then he's accused of many other things, and Pilate waits for Jesus to defend himself, to make an answer. But Jesus, it says, made no further reply. And somehow Jesus' silence in the midst of all of these accusations amazed Pilate. It is perhaps the first time that it's clear that Pilate has some questions about the power of this Jesus of Nazareth. That somehow a man can stand before his own community, the leadership, the religious leadership, who accuse him of so many things, and he literally makes no defense. Certainly, there are times when we are called to protest, to lift up our voice, to discuss, to provide another alternative. But there are times when we literally don't even need to engage. It's not even worth the effort to argue. It's not even worth the energy to defend. The accusations simply are, and they reflect the heart and the spirit of those who make them. Sometimes our suffering comes because we try to squelch those who would criticize us. Sometimes our suffering comes because we are astounded at how unjust and unfair others are. And there are moments when saying nothing says far more. And so today I invite you to consider the moments that you engage and the moments that you step away. The times that you feel led by God to defend, and the times that you simply let the accusations stand on their own. And in that process, I invite you to consider how Jesus preserved his inner strength such that he could make a defense with his actions in the ways that mattered most. Sometimes what we do carries so much more weight than what we say. Today, I encourage you to choose the moments that you defend yourself wisely. Today, I encourage you to perhaps not always respond, but to ground yourself enough to act, to be proactive, and to be the one that is in control of the narrative that you're speaking. Lord, I thank you for the strength and the wisdom and the courage and the grace that you always teach us. Help us to know, God, when to leave somebody else's accusations alone, to simply let them be their statement, but not something that we even engage. Help us as we make our spiritual quest, God, not to become so caught up in what others say about us or about the journey or even about you, that we lose the center from which we are walking. In this quest, in general, and today specifically, give us the courage to keep our eyes on you. In Jesus' name.